In this week's video, we finally get our suspension upgraded ahead of upplating the van after a year of procrastination. We meet friends to enjoy a barbecue, visit the lovely city of Wakefield and experience some countryside walks while the suspension work is completed. But before we get into all that, hello, we are Kath, Sue, Archie and Fudge and have been living and travelling in our motorhome for over 2 years. A recent change of circumstances has led us to the decision to finally sell our house. After some general maintenance to get it ready for sale, we are back on the road for more adventures. Well, good morning folks. We are finally on our way again. Just thought I'd tell you a little bit about our plans. We're actually heading north now and we're on our way to Wakefield, where we've got an exciting commitment. And that's with the company that we met when we were at the Warner's show in Newbury, because they're doing our upgrade to suspension. And we're having comfort springs on the front and air suspension at the back, which will enable us ultimately to upplate the vehicle. Anyway, more about that when we get there, because we're breaking the journey by a stop off, which is, we think, about halfway near Lutterworth. And from memory, I think it's called something like Stanford Hall, Caravan Park or caravan site. We've never been there before. It's just a one-nighter. We've got some friends who live not far away from there who are probably going to pop round and see us this afternoon. We might even do a barbecue together. So anyway, for now, goodbye, and we'll see you when we get to our destination. We're here. We're at the Stanford Hall Caravan Park. Sue's just booking us in and asking them about our visitors. We're presuming it's okay because we've had visitors at other sites. It's always good to check, isn't it? As you can see, we have got an absolutely fantastic evening. We're going to be sitting out in the sunshine, eating our burgers. We've also got some veggie sausages and burgers as well, because our friends are vegetarians, mostly vegetarians anyway. And so getting all of this ready, I'm always a bit nervous about cooking vegetarian sausages and burgers, only because they're never like brown in the same way, so I'm quite worried about it. So we've had a bit of a dual effort, and we've cooked the meat stuff first. Some people wouldn't like that because obviously there's meat juices on the barbecue, so I appreciate that wouldn't work for everyone. But because the coals have now burnt down, this is going really well. Let me show you.
Do it, haven't I?
What's that?
Loch Ness Marathon.
Oh yeah, but you're too old. You're talking far too much running and there's food on the table. I know that there'll be a lot of people viewing this who are going to be able to help us, because you might be able to stop an argument, because let me just show you. I mean, what do you call this? I call it a barm cake. What do you call it?
A cob.
A cob?
A cob.
What do you call it?
It's a batch. Definitely a batch.
Sue, what do you call it?
A roll.
See what I mean? Comments below. What do you call it? It is, how was your vegetarian barbecue?
Thank you very much. Amazing. Best vegetarian barbecue ever. Thank you.
That's the success, isn't it? A plate like that, we love it. How's your meat one, Susie?
Yeah, it's all good. On my second chicken kebab.
You're gone but for seconds.
Yeah, I've only had one.
No wonder you're so fat. We've had a lovely evening with some very good friends, and even though it's quite early, we're doing the washing up, and we're probably going to end up having an early night.
We're doing the washing up.
I'm giving you plenty moral support in the washing up. No idea what my hair's looking like, but woken up to a fairly pleasant warm day, nice quiet peaceful Sunday morning. Now we're moving on today, as you know, but I realised I haven't really told you much about this particular campsite. Now we're parked in one of the I think the main field on the campsite. It's a really interesting place actually. We've picked it because of its proximity to the M1, and because we're heading up the M1 towards Wakefield, it's perfect. And actually it's really quite good value because it's 20, we're not on electric hookup, although it is available. £20 a night, it's fine, isn't it? And we happen to be quite close to where the water and the waste and the Elsam point is. Got a lovely grass pitch, loads of space all around us. Yeah, for one night, for what we want today, it's perfect. There's loads of fifth wheel, those big ones here, and some really interesting setups. It's clearly people living here, if not permanently, then for a good portion of the year, and lots of seasonal pitches. But it's a quirky place. We've really enjoyed it here actually. So no problem at all, and everybody's dead friendly. The really friendly welcome here. There's a dog walk on the site as well. You have to unfortunately keep the dogs on the lead on the dog walk, which is a bit of a shame, but there's a nice big field available for you to exercise them. Tonight we'll be sleeping in an industrial site, I think, ready for the work to be done on the van on Monday morning. Well, this is it. This is our stop for tonight. As I said earlier, not the most glamorous, but perfect when you're having some suspension upgraded. Just in that direction, and we will have a bit of a walk down. We're only about 400 metres from, I think it's either the river or the canal. I can hear water, and I'm on a footpath, but I'm going to just veer off to another little footpath through some nettles. Try not to get stung, because I'm heading in the direction that I can hear the water. Oh! Well, this is what I've found. So I found another access route to the river. I'm not going to go down there because it looks a little bit muddy at the bottom. But you get a pretty good view from here. You'll be able to see just over in the distance there is the motorway. So Motorhome Supplies is definitely really close to the M1. It's about a 5-minute drive once you leave the M1 if you're coming north to the industrial park where it is, which is great. We've got these great dog walks. Look at this old bridge. I've no idea how old it is. Any idea what these things are? Like circular, they look like some mechanical contraption would be here. Well, I'm still on the Riverside path. I've actually come in the opposite direction. I know, you can clearly see it goes for miles. Anyway, I've left Sue with the van, so Fudge and I are going to walk back and catch up with Sue. She's going to love running along here tomorrow, I think. Good morning, folks. The exciting day's arrived. So just explain. So that's kind of the one that's coming off the front.
Yeah, this will be replaced, taken off the vehicle. This is a standard coil spring. This is the replacement MAD. This is a lot thicker gauge, heavier duty, but it does have the ability to allow a softer first initial absorption, so the ride feels a lot smoother.
Right.
But then once it gets deeper into the travel, it then starts to stiffen up,
right.
And then it reacts better for the actual control of the vehicle.
Well, so we're going to have a comfy ride.
A lot more comfortable than it was, yes.
Yeah, lovely.
And in conjunction with the rear suspension, air suspension, that will make it fantastic on the road.
Yeah, brilliant. So what we've chosen to do is, because we want to upplate our vehicle, we've been told by SVTech that we need comfort springs at the front, which are the blue ones you've just seen, and air suspension at the back, which is even more complicated, but maybe we can talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be once we get the kit out, and we can go through the parts and where they're going to go and what they actually improve.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, cracking.
We've arrived in Wakefield city centre. Never had Wakefield pinned as a city, but it is. This is the pedestrianised area. Now, I'm not going to show you all around the town because, well, that's not why we're here. I just wanted to show you that Motorhome Supplies provide us a little car, which is absolutely brilliant, which has meant we, with our old man Archie, have been able to come into Wakefield and we'll be wandering around. We have got a few little things to get, nothing, just stamps and things to get things in the post. But it looks like quite a nice little city centre. First stop, we're in a little independent coffee shop, sat outside. I mean, who would have thought of it? Sat outside in the summer, in the sunshine. It's due to be 26 degrees later today. We're right next to, and I did say I'm not going to show you around because that's not what we're here for, but look at this, an old-fashioned record shop. Sue's just gone to look for dog chews and we're going to go and find some lunch. So you've got something to eat at lunchtime as well, haven't you?
Right, so we're going to go into the workshop. Obviously, safety first. We're just doing this as a courtesy that work stopped. Just going to do a quick view of the strut removed, and then we'll go inside just to show inside how much work has to be done just to install this equipment. So if you just follow me.
Brilliant. How often do you get the chance to do something like this and see it?
So this is the strut now with the new spring all ready to go back into the van. And then if we just come round this way, we'll just bring the camera around and you can just look there, and if you point the camera up in the air, you'll see there's the hole where the strut actually sits inside, and then that is then connected under the dashboard inside. So if we go around to the other side of the van now, and we'll go inside and we'll just look at what work has been done. Down to the left there is the side console, because this is the A-frame. So as you can see, all down this side is where that cowling was. We need access into all this area. We've had to remove all this area here and down here to be able to get to the strut tops to reconnect the struts. And also we're going to be placing the clocks in here for the air suspension. The pump is already placed. If you look just down into this corner here, you can just see the pump there tucked away nice and neat. That's just got to be secured once we've installed the dials. Same again to the left hand side, the passenger side. We've had to remove that side of the dash just so we can get in to the strut tops again, just to fasten those up. And that's the amount of work that's involved just to get these on, and then obviously we've got to put all that back in again.
So it's not trivial, is it, the amount of work?
It's not a very easy process, and some of these vans, the wiring and the screws are very, very hidden away, so there has to be a lot of patience involved sometimes as well. So this is where the sunglass holder was, to the right hand side of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And this is now the controls, which will now be in place once everything's back in.
Wow.
And this will control the suspension at the rear.
You'll have to give me a full lesson
And
tomorrow.
you will have a talk through that and talk through pressures and what we recommend and things like that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Great
indeed.
stuff. Thank you.
So it's definitely worth coming to these guys. They really know their stuff, and certainly have given me the confidence from the very first time that I met Sam, that this is where I would want to go to get my upgrade done. Thank you so much.
All right.
The van's not quite ready for us to go back yet, although they are absolutely brilliant there and letting us have a look at some of the work that they've been doing already, which you'll have seen by now. So we've now come to a pub called the Navigation, which is alongside the canal, and we're just going to chill out for the afternoon here. Probably give the boys for a little walk.
Yeah, boys and girls.
Boys, but yeah, boy and girl. What did I say?
The boys.
The boys. The boy and the girl. We'll give them a little walk along the canal. Not so far, because obviously Archie can't go very far. And well, we've got another day here tomorrow, haven't we? Not necessarily here. We're not spending all day in the pub. But we've got the second lot of work, which is to deal with the rear suspension, which is the air suspension. But there's been a lot of work done today. Sue's going to walk back from here with Fudge, and I'm going to drive back with Archie. Well, once we've finished our drinks. So just from the navigation, you can walk right onto the footpath beside the Calder and Hebble Canal. I'm going to walk as far as the lock and back again. There's a little bit of shade. We'll take a bit of shelter in the shade before we head back because it's really far too hot, particularly for Archie at the moment. We're back at the van and we're missing a chair. Just for tonight. They would have put it back in if we'd asked them, but because we're not moving anywhere and because we can manage, we've said no, don't make yourself any extra work. And tomorrow morning they'll be back at 8:30 to finish the final bit of the job. Good morning. Well, we are day 2 of the suspension fit, and it's the air suspension at the rear that's being done today. We're just getting ourselves ready after our second night at an industrial park. It was fine, really peaceful. So we'll see what's happening today. We're going to try and find a country park that we found nearby, and Sue's making us a picnic. So we've still got the use of the car, which has been kindly lent to us by Motorhome Supplies Ltd. So well, it'll be another good day. So Tim's just opening the part that will be going on this afternoon so that we can have a quick look exactly what it is that goes on the rear axle.
So this is the brackets that will be going on the back of the van, each side. Bellows in the middle, and you've got the 2 actual mounts for the vehicle itself. Yeah. This is because it's an Alco vehicle. This would be normally the bellow that would go on a leaf spring. So you can see there's quite a lot of difference in this setup. So. Yeah. Hence they are more expensive, and there's a lot more work goes into actually installing these. Yeah.
Blinking heck, they look heavy as well.
They're a fair old piece of kit, yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
So this is our little excursion today. We've come to a place called Angas Countrypark. We understand there's a 2-mile loop of a lake or a pond. So we're going to do that, probably stop for a coffee, and then head back to see how they're getting on with Bertie. Another of your friends, Sue. It's definitely a great place for dogs here, isn't it? That's a clever boy. Well, don't worry about the rings, the orange rings. I think some kids must have been along and thrown them in. We didn't have to save anyone. I'm very pleased to say the cafe is open. So we're going to stop here and have a coffee, and that'll be it really. I think we'll probably just chill out here for about an hour and then head back, because I think the van might be quite close to being ready then.
Now we have brackets mounted to the chassis, and then we also have another bracket which is underneath. That is attached to the hub of the vehicle, and then in between we have the airbag itself, which will create the air ride. That's all controlled from the cab side, which we'll look at shortly. Right, okay, so we're back in the van finally now after the bellows have been installed. The dash is all back together, and we're now just going to go quickly through the control panel, which is down by the right hand side of the steering wheel. We've currently got the system set at 2.9 bar. We recommend about 2.5, but there is an experimentation for the customer. Some people's ideal of comfort is a little bit different to another customer's, so it's a play with on that system. They've got paddles on the right and the left to control each individual side. We've got up and down. The air is released at the dashboard, and you will notice the sound when you do release it. If you were going to a ferry or something like that, you can increase the pressure whilst you're in the queue. If you want to increase the pressure normally, you would pull over to the side of the road and do that safely. It's not advisable to doing it while you're actually driving. As far from the system, it's pretty straightforward from here on in. It's they get the pressures right and forget the system. It doesn't need any servicing. There's no serviceable parts.
I like that.
And it should be just happy driving, a lot more comfort and control. One of the things when you're driving and you first start using the system, when you go over speed bumps and things like that, you will notice that the pressures jump up and down. It's obviously the pressure is increasing within the bellow for absorption of the bump, and you'll soon get used to that and forget about it.
And just remind me, what's the maximum pressure?
So maximum pressure whilst driving is 4 bar, and when stationary you can go up to 6 bar. It should not be driven any more than 4 bar.
And if the pressure drops, what does that? It shouldn't drop, but if it did,
no, you may find on uneven surfaces that you have variance in the pressure. That's just a compensation. It's natural within the system. It's only when it's on a flat surface they should be at the same level, and they will soon correct themselves. If you're going around a bend, for instance, you will notice one side will increase depending on the bend you're going around, and then it will level back out. So it's.
And is there a minimum?
Minimum, we say keep above 1 bar.
Okay.
If it's below 1 bar, don't drive the vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
Okay,
Thanks,
all done.
Tim. Thanks
Yeah,
ever
no
so much
problem.
for all
Been a pleasure.
your and patience and look. It was our job, wasn't it?
That's what the jobs are all about.
Yeah.
Some are easier than others. And
Fantastic.
You just have to get on with it and get it done.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So just one final reminder
Yeah.
is obviously the wheels have all been off,
Yeah.
torqued up, but they need to be rechecked after 100 miles.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
we'll just make sure that's a good safety tip for everybody
Yeah.
to check when they've had work done.
Brilliant.
All
Thanks
right.
ever so much. Well, that's it, folks. It's a really tough job. If you're going to get it done, you need some professionals to do it, in my humble opinion. Hope you enjoyed that video and found it informative. Maybe it's something that you've been thinking of. I know I was thinking of it for about a year before I finally took the plunge. So thank you so much for watching. Next week there's going to be some solo camping coming up, but you'll have to wait for that. So we will see you next time.